Evening, Therapy Army! How we doing, Therapy Army? Welcome to United Real Therapy, people. And Rachel's back. Lovely Rachel is finally back on the channel. Big up to every one of you, man. And women and non-binary people and whoever is on the stream. Big up to all of you. Love, light, always. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about a little bit about Propaganda FC and also to talk about the gatekeepers of the gatekeepers, the overlords of Manchester United fan base opinion. Like, you can't have an opinion. Yeah, big up, man. Rachel's getting love in the comments. Big up Khalees, big up Muhammad Ali, big up Logan, Alex, big up Meshdi, big up gamers, ZZ gamers, big up, man.
We like gamers here.
Not many positive at United, to be fair. Could probably count them as one hand. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see, man. Big up, man. Stephen H, man, I'm at the wheel. Saeed, abuse is a disgrace. I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. Hopefully, we're going to try to get him to come on as well, to jump on. But Rachel, welcome. How are you?
I'm not bad. Not bad. Happy New Year, everyone. Obviously, I haven't been on since last year. So, Happy New Year. Hope you all had a good Christmas and enjoyed your holidays and whatnot. But yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay. How are you guys?
How was your Christmas and New Year? How's the family? How's the dog?
Oh, yeah, there was COVID at the household during Christmas time.
Oh,
so
you get it?
I think I did. I think I did get it. But it came up negative on the test, but everyone in my house had it. And I was ill for like 2 weeks. So I'm assuming I had it and it just came up negative. I don't know. I don't know how those things work anymore. They just false negatives and false positives. I don't care. I'm over it now. So it's all good.
Yeah, man. Big up, fat boy. Fat boy, oh. Big up,
so
man.
many new people.
Yeah, man. Big up to everyone, man. Love and respect to you all. So, yeah, like I said, coming up on tonight's show, we're going to talk about the overlords, gatekeepers of Man United football opinion. We're going to talk about what's going on with Man United, the Propaganda FC, how Harry Maguire's coming out with his quotes now.
Has he? I haven't even seen those.
Hilarious quotes. And then we're going to talk about all related news. So people going on loan. Obviously, Donny still not being free. Donny in prison. We're talking about Donny being in prison. And the fact that one of my tweets the other day actually rattled people as well. Rattled!
Which one? You have so many tweets.
Oh, I've been tweeting it. I've been giving it. Basically, I said about... I'll bring it up and I'll say... I said... what did I say? Let me just go into here. One of my tweets the other day, I said... So basically, I'm frustrated that this club don't rate Donny and they have to let him go. But they don't rate him, but they don't want to let him go, which is just ludicrous. Just absolutely killing a kid's football career. You know what I mean? Football career is very short, and killing this kid's football career. I just wrote one of the reasons because they're saying that it was reluctant. So I wrote one of the reasons they're reluctant to let him go is because he was further exposed to this toxic club. Yeah. Another reasons would also don't want him is because they don't want to. Another reason that they don't want because it would expose Ollie and his coaching staff. Man, UFC is toxic. They have brainwashed the fans into thinking that McFred is better than Donny. But anyway, so many of them come at me, and people were coming right, left, and center, going, "You're a disgrace." The top Reds, how dare you? Like there's some guardian angels to Ollie. Ollie should have been sacked after the Europa League final. If we're all honest with ourselves, deep down honest with ourselves, he should have been sacked after the Europa League final. Not because we lost on penalties, but because of the way and his in-game management, the lack of it was all season. That's what was clear. It was clear and it was there for everybody to see how bad it was. So this idea that Ollie is some sort of master, and now a lot of the mess that he left behind, and a lot of people like you, Rachel, who were giving Ollie the benefit of the doubt, and like me, who was trying to support him and say, give him time, you know what, it's difficult working with the Glazers and everything else, is all of a sudden, it's like, oh, no, Ollie was this saver. He's responsible for the most disgraceful performance and result in over 100 years of history of Man United. I was there. I witnessed the 5 goals go in. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. So this idea that Ollie was this master tactician and master this and that, nah, mate, not having it. But anyway,
master nothing. Let's be honest.
That's what I'm saying. So I triggered a couple of them, obviously, and then I pulled out all these sexuals, and some of them weren't liking it. But it is what it is. And then obviously, Saeed getting attacked because he was on Rio's channel, and you know what I mean.
Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
And it's like, what? When do you become the vanguard of football opinion? At the end of the day, a lot of times, I don't agree with everything that he says. Me and you, Rachel, we disagree. Everybody's got an opinion. That don't mean that I want to go and hate you because you have that opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
And for me, it's like I've always noticed that since the toxic Glazers have been here, there have been supporters who just basically say, I always write it out as one thing because I always want to hashtag it. Be a sheep and support the club. No, no sheep here, mate. No sheep here. We're not just supporting the club. We're going to talk about what the hell is going on with the football club. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. You don't have to comment on it. You don't have to go after people for it. You've got an opinion. Not everybody agrees with your opinion. Simple. That's why this football game is a game of opinion. All of a sudden, people go, ooh, so many toxic fan base. The fan base went like that. Did you ever go to pubs back in the day?
Oh, gosh.
It's the pub. It's just the pub after the game or before a game or the couple of days before a game. That's all it is. Well, anyway, Rachel, talk to me. How do you see it?
What, the Saeed thing?
No, just about these overlords, so-called top reds. And I want to know, honestly, does anybody know who's a top red and they want to come on and explain to me why they're overlords and why they're gatekeepers of Man United football opinion? I'm happy. I'm always happy to talk to people so they can come on anytime, and they can tell me.
But they won't know Nuruddin because they can't stand fan cameras. It's a very strange thing. I don't know what it is. Like there's this new one called 1958. I don't know if you've seen it about.
No.
It's like a new cult. I guess you can call it a cult. I think it is a cult personally, but their mentality is very strange. You know, they think they're better than everyone else. It's very strange behavior to me. I don't know how people behave like this and think it's okay to tell people how to support their football club. You know, just because you go to every game, some people can't afford it. Some people don't have, you know, geographical access to it. You know what I mean? It doesn't make you any more or less a supporter, you know. And to come for Saeed is pure jealousy. That's all it is. It really is. But do you know what, Nuruddin? Some of the comments I said, they just made me laugh. I hope Saeed does do a video of you and him dancing again, and it's on your channel. That'd be brilliant.
No. Tell me what the comments were saying. Tell me, please. You need to try to remember what they were saying, because
they're basically saying that, you know, this is a disgrace that Rio's teaming up with Saeed, and he was dancing when Oli got sacked, and Rio is basically a traitor. And I'm like, hold on a second. No offense to anyone here who watches Stephen Howson, but on camera, and I only found this out today, by the way. I saw the clip of it. I think it's disgusting anyway, where he was talking about, you know, getting foreigners out the club and all that nonsense. He said that on his show, and no one condemned Rio for teaming up with him, but he teams up with Saeed, and it's all uproar. I don't understand that. Do you know what I mean? So it's ridiculous. I don't know. They care more about the fact that Oli was sacked and the fact that someone was discriminatory on his channel. So what? I don't understand this. This
is the hypocrisy, innit? Hypocrisy.
It's ridiculous.
He can have a different opinion. He can go and dance. I hated Jose Mourinho. I wanted everything. I would pray I would get rid of that bastard. And that's how I think. And I use those words because I don't know him personally. But what damage he did to the football club. Because he was mugging people off. Taking the piss out of, and nobody had the right to say to him, listen, you cannot do this. And that's why I realized the club is a gutless, worthless people who are in charge. Bankers who don't know what they're doing. So, did I have a dance? Did I celebrate? Yes, I did. But then I realized it's not just about the football managers. The club is more toxic than we think. But anyway, that is what it is. But here you go. Here's Maguire. De Gea has been amazing. I think a lot of people this year haven't had the most consistent season. You don't say. We've been up and down like outfielders and the team performance. All right. Big up Khalees Ramadan Lassie, by the way, for bringing out the quotes. Big up Tom.
Big up.
Yeah. Nuruddin, apparently, what is it? Apparently, Fred is close to agreeing a 3-year deal with significant pay rise.
I prefer not to speak. I won't speak too much.
Well, Tom, 40 life. He's got legs. I need some more legs in here. We need some more legs in there. He's got legs. That's why he's getting a 3-year deal. But big up, Khalees. Big up to every one of you. Please, if you're new here, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It costs you absolutely nothing to like the video. But Maguire's talking about De Gea. Yes, Maguire, we already know. We could see. So that's irrelevant, quote. Because we can see De Gea's been the best player this season. We can see that already. So that's irrelevant. Let's see what you're talking about. Has been there for okay. We get that. We get that. I don't want to know what you think about David De Gea. I want to know why don't you be honest about your own phone and how you are over your head. You're not a Man United captain and you got found out. So why don't you talk to us about that? Be honest. Be open and honest, eh? At least we'll have some respect for you if you're open and honest. Of course, when you are playing and you want to be successful, you have to have a competition. Competition? You're letting the technical players go. Sending all the technical people on back. And the idea that Ahmad Diallo has to be loaned out and Elanga is further ahead when Ahmad Diallo, it's a bit surprising to me. And also, I find the sending him to Rangers a bit of it. I mean, no disrespect, and I genuinely mean that from the bottom of my heart. But no way is the Scottish League more competitive than the Championship. No way. No in the hell way, in my humble opinion. I could be totally wrong, but to me, the Championship is one of the most competitive leagues in the world. It's because it's got grueling and relentless fixture list. You play every 3 days, and the times of recovery, and it's so physical, and it's still fast like the Premier League. So when teams come up to the Premier League, they're not shocked at the pace and the physicality of it. But Rachel, get your 2 pence in. Maguire, listen, we don't. Just be honest. I will only read out when you're honest about your own fault. You've been absolutely woeful, and you're not a leader. Yeah. What are you doing? What are you climbing for? What are you climbing? Skulls and Steedov are going mad in the background, by the way. Climbing.
Where to start? So with the loan move, I think it's decent for Ahmad to go to Rangers because they are actually in Europe, if I remember correctly. They're in the Europa League, aren't they? And I believe their Europa League game, the first Europa League game back, is actually against Dortmund. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it is actually against Dortmund. So he will get some European experience as well. They're in the title race as well, so it's good experience there. We know the Scottish League is very passionate. It's not it's not as good as the Championship, or maybe not even the Championship. They might be on. I think they were maybe even the same level, but I think games like Rangers versus Celtic are bigger than the Championship. Let's be honest. It's a big game.
Yeah, but still, to me, it's about level of competitiveness. And the idea to me, you'll have more time playing because players can't recover, you know what I mean? All to play within 7 days, play 3 games sometimes. So for me, it's about how much that he would get game. I thought somebody like will find out a lot about his character, a lot about his game. Obviously, he's got all the talent. If he went somewhere like to Derby or he went to Fulham, you know, like a footballing team, right? I get Rangers, but I don't think the standard's up to it. The only other big game is Celtic, me personally. Like
no, I understand that. I just think that I would rather he played against Dortmund than any Championship team. And I know that's only 2 legs and that, but I would rather that. I would rather he got, the European experience playing against Dortmund is a very good side, remember. They're not a bad side at all. I think if Rangers progressed in the Europa League, it's actually a very good experience for him, to be honest with you. If he can, stamp a place in the team and that. So I don't think it's a bad move at all. I would have liked to see him in a Premier League team. Maybe they didn't think he was suitable or whatever, but I don't mind him going to Rangers at all. I think it's important that he gets game time anyway. So most important thing for him at his age is game time, getting experience, and he gets to play in Europe a little bit, hopefully. So I think the loan's fine for him, to be honest with you. So I'm not too fussed about that. I think it's a good move.
Okay. All right. See, you can disagree. I think the Championship would have been better for me personally. But Rachel there disagrees and reckons at the Europa League he'll be able to play teams.
You're a fake fan, so it's fine.
You know what I mean? They can. You know what I mean? That he might be able to play better in Europe, maybe play for a team that's challenging for a league title. Yeah. I have a totally different argument about the standards of the league. I think the Championship is one of the most competitive leagues in the world, right? But there you go. Rachel, I don't hate ya.
Imagine.
And I don't think I'm a top runner no more than you. I don't. I don't hate you, Rachel. Actually, I love you, and I'm glad that
It's all
you're
love in here.
opinion. Yeah, it's exactly. So it's a bit surreal, man. It's a bit surreal. It's an absolutely bit surreal. He's gonna have the legs left on Rashford tries him. Listen, to me, it's been an absolute disappointment. In the amount of time that he's been here, I've only ever seen Ranieri's way of playing for 45 minutes. I've not seen it ever since. And people were so gassed about the West Ham game, Rachel. But if Bowen doesn't make that mistake, Cavani, Ronaldo and Martial are not composed. That game ends 0-0. What did you think of that? Some people are overreacting to make it out like Man United are top four. Like, are you kidding me? We're not playing top four football anyway to begin with. And
I don't think a lot of teams are playing top four football. I watch Spurs, I watch Chelsea. Chelsea haven't. Do you know what? Do you know what it is, Nuruddin? Like, I understand the disappointment with some things with Rangnick, and he's annoyed me as well at times. But I think it's still very difficult. Like, remember when we spoke about this a few months ago, and I said like the players have a lot to answer for with their performances, and I'm sick of it. Like, don't get me wrong, I didn't want Ollie at the club, but the players have to have some kind of, you know, accountability with it. And it's the same with now. Like what we're seeing with some of these players is just poor play at times as well. Like, how many times
rewarded and played again and again, Rachel? And
no, I understand that. I understand that.
Some people can come, but I don't genuinely think Raf is fully in charge. Darren Fletcher interviewed him. So why is Darren Fletcher all of a sudden? The guy was coaching kids at school. I understand. As a club ex-player, you can do the Nicky Butt job. How many times was Nicky Butt, the time that he's been there, was being on the bench and calling players 2 minutes to go at the Villa game, getting them to come on the pitch? Like, I just don't understand. Like, I think
there are two sides of it, Nuruddin. So I think because he came in as interim Rangnick, right? So there might not have been a lot of time to actually prepare for this, you know, from his point of view in terms of getting the right coaching staff in. I think he wanted a couple of the coaches to stay. If I'm honest with you, I think he wanted McKenna to stay. Obviously, McKenna got his job opportunity because I don't think there was any point in them overhauling the coaching staff for 6 months when they don't really know the direction they're going in for the next manager. Let's be honest, the club, I think Rangnick was recommended to them because he's someone that builds, right? But I don't think the people in charge actually understand what he is capable of doing and how they go about it. Does that make sense? They didn't actually have a plan. So I think what Rangnick wanted to do was keep the coaches. Maybe bring in maybe one or two of his own as like he did, but I don't think he wanted to overhaul it, if you know what I mean. I think what he wanted to do was to try and stabilize it a bit, bring his own ideas in with the players, with the coaches that have already established a relationship with the players already there. I think that's what he was trying to do. And then McKenna left, and then maybe they didn't want to appoint a whole new coach. So they got Darren Fletcher involved. Not saying I agree with it, but I think I don't think it's as cut and dry as Darren Fletcher just put himself into the coaching staff and. You know, he's trying to control everything.
No, because he was there when Ollie was there. He was been there since last year when Ollie was there.
But he had a different role, didn't he?
I started to notice him because I'm like, you are the technical development director. Basically, exactly the same job as Nicky Butt was doing. And now majority of football clubs around the world, they have a player who has mainly come through their academy, who's now in charge of the technical development. And all that means, people, is that helping the transition from youth team to under 23s to the first team. It's that pathway, somebody there to help you and watch your development and to maybe speak to the manager now and again about how you're doing. And they're going to watch a lot of games on the 18th and on the 23. That's what they mainly focus on. That's who that person was. I only ever saw Nicky Bet on the bench once when Mourinho had so many youngs. I think it was one season towards the end of his game. I think it's where Gomez... he played in that game and he became one of the youngest players to ever make his debut. And he was on the bench with Jose, like, because, you know, he's been watching these kids. He knows more about these kids than he doesn't. And the other big thing why my big suspicion is, for me, is like, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer disgracefully got sacked and rightly so, right? How are you spending 2.5 hours on the phone with him? I've never seen that in my life, never. And what the hell is Mickey Phelan still doing there? Now, I said to people, Rachel, the most important thing about Ralph Ranieric, I said to everybody when he came in, I said, for these 6 months, the most important thing is that he brings a fitness coach. Because Manchester United have been the accommodation of them as lazy-ass players that don't want to do any runs, don't want to enforce any of their physicality, who just want to go out there and just play vibes. Like, that has been the biggest thing. They never chase back players, and everybody wants to be greedy, just cut inside and shoot. And I've seen Tuchel coming to Chelsea. I know it's a different thing because obviously he had a job for full time, yeah? But he came in with his coaching stuff. Within 4 to 5 weeks, Chelsea stopped conceding goals. Chelsea look like a more structured team. Now, I know they're not hitting the heights what they've hit. I said that Lukaku's not that guy anymore, and the system that we're going to play him in, they actually play better with Werner than they do with Lukaku because Werner offers a lot more of the ball in terms of being a threat with his pace. And we can get into that discussion. But I can clearly see that. I saw Klopp coming to Liverpool, and I saw him, even when players getting injured right, left, and centre, he was playing them. It's like, you know what? This is part of the process. You have to toughen them up. And then I see club favourites getting played right, left, and centre. And that's, to me, nothing has changed. I go to the stadium, I swear to you, I see nothing has changed. It's still Bruno's doing his one headless man press on himself. Now Ronaldo started to do it. And I'm like, no, you're supposed to do it as a group. And Ralph is there on the side and letting Marcus Rashford, even Elanga now is creeping into his game, and Greenwood just cut inside and shoot. That's why we were not. If those guys were on the pitch for another 2 days with West Ham, we were never going to score because that's what West Ham were like. Go on, shoot. When a bit of footballers who can play a bit of close control, who've got technical ability to play a bit of close control football, came on the pitch, one moment, one opening, boom, goal. That is the difference. I just think Ralph Rangnick has seen, me personally, this is anybody can have the opinion. This is my opinion. Ralph Rangnick has seen guys that he has advised or guys who are doing amazing in the Premier League, like Tuchel, like Hassan who keeping his job at Southampton, who's doing good. They're up and down like a yo-yo, but reasonably, he's doing a decent job there. They're not being relegated. He's seen what Klopp is doing here. He's the guy who's not coached for 10 years and maybe managed maybe 80 games or 80-something games. All of a sudden, he wants to come, and he's the main thing for me why I was excited. And I did warn people, and I did say it for the record. I said, Ralph Rangnick is a guy who builds club football structure, and that's what I want him to do. So if somebody would have said to me, would I have had Carrick in charge and Ralph Rangnick starting out the back way, I would take that because Man United as a football club, Rachel, have already wrote off the season. They already have wrote off the season. So I already know that, right? So to me, I'd rather have Ralph Rangnick going and making fundamental changes to the football structure than him just managing a team because he's not managed. Like, he's not. And I think that's why Nuruddin, that this whole coaching system, like, you know, you talk about the coaching setup and Fletcher being there. I don't think he wants to overhaul it yet. He can't. Like, think about it, right? If he's going to build this properly, he can't bring in a bunch of coaches that he wants and then bring in a manager that might have a different style of football with his own coaches. You can't do that. That destabilizes it in the first place, right? I think the whole point of him being here for 6 months is to try and stabilize as much as he can, get the manager in, and then they can start doing, like, you know, progressing forward. He can't progress at the moment because we don't have a plan in place. We don't have a manager in place yet. So whether he wants Ten Hag or Poch, whoever it is, like, we know, right, that, you know, Poch and Ten Hag, they have a different style of football, right? What if Rangnick brings in coaches for a Poch style? No. Listen, I'm not talking about that.
I'm trying to say, no, but in general,
I'm talking about a fitness coach. A fitness coach. That's one thought. I'm talking about one.
But what if the man? I get that. What if the manager, next manager that comes in has a fitness coach that he likes and has a good relationship with?
No, but listen.
What I mean,
Man United have already got rid of so many people. They put a compensation packet together for people. It's only people who want to stay that stay, like Mickey Phelan, who are just like holding on, like, but. There is a compensation package to be done. Like, football clubs do that. They hire football coaches, specialists. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. They move on. That can happen. If the new coach likes that person, they like him. If they're not, they move on. That's why you have that. Coaches, most people think that actually coaches don't change. Like, I'm talking about not managers. I'm talking about actual coaches or who specialize, like set piece specialists, like an analyst specialist. They change. Clubs, like everybody. There's nothing that's permanent at a football club other than the actual manager, really, and maybe the football structure. But within that, coaches change, physios, doctors, they all swap around. So it's not a huge big deal. He's not a huge big deal for me. And Carrick,
it is if it's just 6 months, Nuruddin, though. This is what I'm saying. If they bring it in for 6 months, what is the point? You might as well just stabilize the club as much as possible, and then bring all those people in.
For me, the compensation of bringing in somebody, paying a fitness coach, right, to try to get you maybe into the top 4 and the team to play in a bit of better football and shape, that to me is worth it than all the money they waste anyway. They waste horrendous money on wages on players. Like,
oh yeah, no, I get that.
This club is not being responsible or ethical or moral. Like, that's not what it is. But yeah, I respect the opinion. But for me, nothing has changed, and I wasn't expecting it because I already know by you hiring an interim, you have wrote up the season. Do you know what I mean? Because you refuse to sack. You refuse to sack the manager when it was the right time to go and sack him. Yo, big up Hassan Yusuf, 2 years to make history when he Manchester United. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, man. Big up, man.
I've heard so many good things about this boy. I'm glad that he's getting all the loving.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's great. It's like one of my friends who grew up with playing football with. It's his son.
Really?
Yeah. It's his son. So yeah, it was one of the honestly. We felt very proud, when he made his debut in that Champions League. Yeah. It's just happy for Ahmad to get minutes. Yeah, well, let's hope so. Let's hope that Ahmad gets minutes. I personally think Championship because it's the highest standard of football and it's more intense. But you know what? I understand, and that's not me being disrespectful to people who are Scottish or the Scottish Football League. I think 10, 15 years ago, the Scottish League was super competitive. I don't think it's that now. I don't think can it get competitive again. 100%. It can get competitive again. But yeah, what do you think of this obsession on not letting Donny leave, Rachel? What do you think to that?
Do you know what? I'm sort of just over the whole Donny thing at the moment. I would have liked to have seen him play more, but I don't care.
I understand that. I think all of us. I think that's a consensus. 90% or 90% of Man United fans, I think, would like to do that, but that's not happening. So why is the club reluctant to let him go?
I just think we're short in midfield already.
Let me just give the viewers. It came to hours. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said to Donny, "You can go." Agent agreed. Within 2-3 hours left of the transfer market, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer personally stopped that transfer. I'm fucking dumbfounded. Why you do it? Football career is short. The kid wants to play in a World Cup, wants to get back being all of his friends, all the people he grew up with, they're all in the Dutch national team. Why are you doing this to him? Why? I just don't get it. And why
it's selfish from the club's point of view. I think, look, it's known that Ollie wanted a midfielder in the summer, right? It's known that he wanted a midfielder in the summer. I think he would have let Donny go if we got the midfielder in. But if you take out Donny, who do we have in midfield? We have central midfielders, not attacking midfielders. I'm talking about central midfielders. We've got Fred, Matic, McTominay, Paul Pogba, who has an injury every season now. Like the injury thing is, it's a common occurrence now, right? So he's out for a couple months. That means we only have 3 midfielders. Now I know Donny doesn't get to play as often as we'd like, but the bottom line is that he is an option. And that's what he wants. And it's selfish from the club. It is selfish from the club.
No, but you can't do it. Right. You can't.
You shouldn't do it. But they can do it, but they shouldn't do it. That's what I'm saying. But this is the thing, Nuruddin. How long have we been saying we need midfielders? Not 1, 2. How long have we been saying this for? And they haven't done anything about the midfield. And now Donny has to pay for it. Unfortunately, that's what's happening right now. The club should have gotten a midfielder in the summer and then one in January, or we get 2 in the summer at least. Like the whole midfield thing is a joke. I've been crying about this for a very long time, by the way. Don't get me started on it.
Yeah, honestly, it's Eski Mamaru. Give me something to be positive about, please. Give me something to be positive about. Give me something to be positive about, other than just seeing Rachel and interacting with you guys. Give me something to be positive about. For me,
Saeed rattled top reds. That's positive, I think.
That's
I think it's positive. I don't know about you guys. I think it's brilliant.
Doing his thing and rattling top reds. That's the positive.
It's a great positive, I think, personally. But
cool. Saeed hopefully is going to jump on when he gets to his hotel. Richard Arnold was there. Richard Arnold will host a leaving event for Ed Woodward before he leaves, apparently, for all the help.
Another great positive.
Right? Big up Footy Live, mate. Footy Live's bringing us therapy. Big up, man. Big up, so man. Guys, get the likes up. Come on, man. Big up, CM. Darren Fletcher. Darren Fletcher could be Fergie in this size. That's what the Glazers must think. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I don't know. That's why Scott McTominay plays, isn't it? It's like Scottish DNA is synonymous with Man United. That's why that's why people try to make me out like. I said the other day, like for me, this is even the worst. I don't even blame Fred. I actually think that they're both not number sixes, but the club then invented a number sixes for them to play in when they're not. And this idea that they're physical, people go, this is the excuse people go, well, Donny's not physical. Have you seen Fred and McTominay get bullied off the ball? Like, what are you talking about?
Let's not.
What are you talking about? But big up to you all. There we go. Khalees, it's good to be when we went for a walk yesterday. Friend feeling my leg. Yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. But nice walks in the winter. Big up to all those people there going for nice, fresh walks in the winter, man. How you surviving January, Rachel? How's the dog?
She's fine. She's keeping me warm because I've been freezing for the last week. I think it's so cold at the moment.
It's been crazy.
So it's horrible.
And how's the degree going?
It's good. Last few months left, and then I'll be done.
Roll on masters.
Yeah, well, yeah, that will be coming as well. But it's just nice to get the degree sorted at the moment, and then who knows from there? Doing all sorts.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I'll bail you out when you get into trouble.
Exactly. Exactly. It's crazy. It's crazy what's happening in this country. But well, shall not get into it. But it's craziness, isn't it? I think it's going to be. I think it might be a summer of protests.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we'll do you know what? Just
there we go. Look at that. Look at that there. This proves my point. You're allowed, even as an interim, to bring your fitness coaches with you. You bring your coaches with you. But like Rachel said, to be fair, to her argument, their club is not organized, so they don't know what the guy can bring or what he can bring. So
they know nothing.
It's like that's what I'm saying. Bankers, he exposed the bankers. And the only positive thing that I could say, the Ronaldo horror, like to me, most of you know already who follow me on Twitter. I was like, Man United need midfielders before they ever needed Ronaldo, right? I said that, right? Yeah. But I said Ronaldo would expose the club, and he has laid it bare because the pressure and the expectations of the fans that he brought with him, he's exposed it. And that's a positive thing, maybe. Ronaldo exposing the fellow players, how lackadaisical they are, the culture that Oli created, that where people are just like nice, and all nice, you know what I mean? And nobody's asked to work hard. You know what I mean? Like as a footballer, that's the minimum to get back in position, minimum. But then nothing has changed because it's like still cut inside and shoot. So that's a positive for me. I would take from everything. Ronaldo coming, and even though I didn't think Man United needed Ronaldo, Man United didn't need Ronaldo. We needed midfield players, right? And Scott McTominay and Fred could be a part of a squad where they need numbers, you know what I mean, where they're part of numbers, but they're not first team players. But no, to me, Ronaldo exposed it all. And I always said with Fred, I can never see Man United winning a trophy. And so far, I've been right.
No, I agree. Like, the way we built our team, our squad is, there's some good signings, don't get me wrong. Like, I still believe in the Sancho sign. I think he's been very disappointing so far. He hasn't been very good. But I believe he will come good. I do believe he will come good because I've watched him play and I think he's a very talented player. He's just been disappointing. And to be fair to him, like the whole club's been disappointing. I didn't expect anything special from this season at all. Like when people were saying the title challenges, like we had a conversation about this. There was no way, but you know there are some talented players in our squad. It's just about balance. It's just getting the balance right and being smart in the transfer market. Because the thing is, the club seems to go on like there are no viable options out there, and there's so many options that they could go for, and there's so many directions they can go into. They just need to pick something, stick to it, and like commit. That's what it is. Commit to something and actually see it through rather than go half-assed into it. You know what I mean?
That's what you get with bankers that don't know what they're doing, do you? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no,
and I genuinely, Windy, big up Windy, I genuinely don't believe in this consultancy. Ralph Ranier is either the sporting director that sorts out the structure or he's not. To me, most consultants are freelancers and there's only us offering him advice, so they will only take what they think at the end of the day. as a consultant, you give advice, but the people you're giving advice to will only cream off the bits that they think they can do, and they'll ignore the rest. So this idea for me is just honestly, it's ludicrous. But apparently, Rachel, there are 4 managers that Man United are linked with. Yeah. In your opinion, which would you think that could help us? Because I genuinely don't believe like there's 1 player, there's 2 players, there's no saviors. Like there isn't, because it's been far too long. It was Schweinsteiger, it was Falcao, it was Di Maria, it was, you know what I mean? It was Pogba, it was Zlatan, it was, you know what I mean? It was Jose. There's not manager or player that could save this football club, because the way the football is structured behind it, the biggest propaganda machine, and also like living on the past and the DAA propaganda as well. But what do you think out of the 4 managers? Locatelli, right? I think that's his name.
The ex-Madrid and Spain manager.
Yeah, so Locatelli, who's a Sevilla manager now. Actually, he's a Sevilla manager as we speak. And Luis Enrique, Poch, and the Ten Hag. This is what the mainstream British football media have picked. This is the 4 they decided they are. So out of those 4, which one do you think that would get us resembling like a team? Forget about winning trophies, but will instill a distinct style of play and a system that we can then maybe go and buy players or bring players from the youth team that can fit into the way they want to play.
Well, when you put it like that, it's difficult, because the way they want to play comes down to which players they can get in to play their style. None of those managers are going to come in and play the football they want with the players that we have, particularly in midfield. You know, you've got players like, you've got managers like, say, Enrique, for example. He likes technical midfielders in the midfield.
Yeah.
Pogba's likely going to leave. Donny might end up leaving because he's had enough of the false promises.
Oh, God,
so that involves recruitment, right? So then it all comes down to recruitment. If the club, whichever manager comes in next, you have to give them what they need. Otherwise, there's no point hiring any of them. You might as well just get an up-and-coming manager from Ipswich. Yeah. Or do you know what I mean? There's no point. So I think it literally just comes down to recruitment for me. I'm not particularly fond of Poch, but I'd back him if he came, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's a thing where whichever manager comes in, I hope they are backed, and I hope that they do well. That's all I can say about it, really. I can't. I'm not going to sit here and just expect anything special or any miracles. I can't. Do you know what I mean? I had that when we got Jose. I thought he's going to leave in bad terms. We all know that, but I thought we would win something major with him in the meantime. Yeah. That was the hope I had, and we didn't even get that with Jose Mourinho, who, regardless of how we feel about him, it has been one of the best managers at the time. Was one of the best managers, of the last 10, 15 years or so. So if we can't do that with one of the best managers because we didn't give him what he wanted after getting bored after a season and a half or 2, then I don't see how it's going to be any different with the other managers, because it's all about recruitment, and we're terrible at that.
Yeah,
to be honest with you, none of the managers give me a lot of hope. I like Enrique's style of football. I know you're a big fan of Ten Hag, for example. So
I don't think Ten Hag wants to come to Man United. I would actually say to Ten Hag right now, stay away from Man United, because they will ruin your reputation. I genuinely think we're that toxic that we will ruin people. We ruin players already. And the thing about Sancho, for me, Sancho plays in a team that's very compact as a team. That because people want to give the ball to Sancho and go, Sancho, you play 3 defenders, you take them on. Like, no, the way the team's been set up and the way the team's been coached in the last 3 years, and even before that with Jose, because Jose never coached forward players. He always says, well, you figure it out. That's why you're the top striker. That's why you're the top winger or whatever. That's what he always said to them. But he always expected him to do the defensive work, right? And especially with their low block FC. I genuinely think Jose Mourinho, football is gone beyond him. It's gone beyond him. Like his method worked for a certain era. Like the football styles of play is going around in circles almost. It's like and his style of play is not unless he gets given everything that he wants. And the players say he wants, but other teams can control the football, control the games, and play a bit more expressive, and where players are happy. I genuinely think he's the kind of guy. When I see Sancho for Dortmund and I was seeing for England, is the kind of guy you need people to be around. He needs guys to be overlapping. Like, that's why I don't know what happened to him. You know, obviously all condolences to his family and to him, you know what I mean, for his loss. You know, we hope and pray for him and obviously losing a family member. But Diego Dalot, since he got in the team, I was thinking at least there'll be somebody to overlap to take players away. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be a bit interesting, but it's just a very stop and start. I just see very stop and start. And like I said to you, we've murdered other players anyway. Like, people moan about Martial. Where's his development? Where's Rashford's development? Greenwood now. All Greenwood knows now when they see on the football pitch, when I go to the games, I see him just coming inside and shooting. Like, the most predictable. And you know the funniest thing? Teams are letting him do that now. Teams are like, oh yeah, just let him shoot, because a lot of it's going to be a P-rollers and everything like that. So yeah, please get the likes up. Yeah, listen, big up Iqbal. I grew up in Manchester for my whole life. So I say I'm proud to be Mancunian, but I'm also proud of my heritage as well. Proud of being English, Pakistani, Iraqi. Yeah, man, big him up, man. Big up. I hope he makes his debut for Iraq. That'll be a proud moment for his mum and his mum's family and his dad and everybody. Trust me, it'll be a proud moment. Big up, Iqbal, sure. Man. Big up Zidane. As long as these clowns are up there, all the footballing matters, we will be experiencing these sorts of frustration. Look at City. Of course. Can we move on here to Preston looking at centre back? Maguire. Or if it was up to me, I would. That's if it was up to me, but it's not up to me, is it? I'm a bit too emotional.
Maguire's not going anywhere. Trust me, he's not going anywhere.
yeah. Big up Iran, man. Consecutive visit. Big up, man. Iran in the World Cup. We're good to see them.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Big up Hassan Yusuf, man. Big up Iran. Love. I'll never forget the game between Iran and the US and the guy who scored the right back. What a goal! Was it World Cup 2000? No, it was World Cup 98. Yeah, World Cup 98. Yeah, in France. He's got a brilliant goal.
Back when the World Cup was worth watching.
Exactly. Yeah. And the African nations, man. Absolutely, obviously, Bailly played fantastic yesterday. He had an absolute brilliant game. He played with a head guard because he had a bad knock in one of the games, in the group games, and he played fantastic. But he missed the penalty, and penalty is is a lottery penalty. You're gonna win or you're gonna lose. But yeah, I thought he was brilliant yesterday for Ivory Coast. But it's unlucky. He needs to go as well. Like, I see, he lied to. So people that are promised game time, all he promised them was Lingard, Bailly, Mata, Van der Beek, and who else? Somebody else. I'm
not going to lie to you. I don't have much sympathy with Bailly.
Yeah.
Not because it's his fault, but because he's been injured more than fit at Manchester United, and he shouldn't even be at the club. I like him. Like, don't get me wrong. I like the guy. He's a great guy, great character.
He's the funniest footballer. He's one of the characters in football that you hardly ever see these days. He's very much off the cuff, kind of instinctual kind of defender. But listen to me. I genuinely think, like, if he wasn't injured, I think they would have played Maguire instead and Lindelof anyway. But that's just me. Like I said to you, will Eric Bailly have ever lasted as Phil Jones in a decade, in your honest opinion? I don't think so. Oh, yeah, Dean Henderson and Martial. But yeah, it's just for me, like I said, they lied to him. He signed the contract, and now he wants to go and, like, just, you know what, you have to kick up a fuss to get out of this country, get out of this club. We are prison FC, aren't we, to be fair? When you sign for Man United, because that's how the Glazonomics works like that. You retain a player other than letting players go and bringing in new players. That's why they don't like it, because Matt Judge is in charge. Matt Judge is the chief negotiator of transfers. He's the chief negotiator of Man United. He's a banker. He knows nothing about football. Yeah. Ian Wright said United it's not coaching their young forwards. I don't get it. Well, yeah, Ian Wright will know. You know what I mean? His sons and his grandsons now playing. There's
a couple of things though, Nuruddin, right, with the forwards. It's a weird one, right? Because Martial and Rashford and Bruno have all had their best time under Ollie, and in a season where, like, Rashford and Martial had fantastic link-up play, I mean, I think we can all agree on that. Right? They
No,
had
no,
a very
they
good
did,
partnership,
yeah.
and they played well, and they were consistent. They were quite consistent throughout the season.
But do you know what the midfield behind them was, Rachel? Do you remember?
No, I remember the midfield behind them, but this is what I'm saying. When people say is the forwards aren't being coached, it baffles me a little bit because it's not. I don't think it's about the forwards being coached. Like, don't get me wrong. I think sometimes there's a aspect of greed and there's a mental issue, but the coaching thing I kind of disagree with because we've all seen them perform together and apart. Do you know what I mean? And like, I think it's too easy now for people to say, "Oh, it's coaching, it's coaching." I think people need to have a look at the players themselves as well. No, I'm not blaming it on you. I'm saying people in general. It's always, "Oh, it's the coaching," because they don't want to admit that sometimes their favorite players are just not playing well, or they're not doing what they're supposed to, and that applies to all three of them. Like, I liked watching all three of them when they were at their best. I can't stand it at the moment the way any of them are played. So I don't think it's a thing where it's always the coach's fault. I think
for me,
the players have to take responsibility.
For the Man United had almost 4-3-3 system, right, at that time. And the system suited everybody. Pogba, Matic, Bruno behind him. And there was balls going in. And that was one of the best times, Ollie, other than the beginning of Ollie's reign, that we played the football that Man United fans expect and want to see. Obviously, it was under the empty stadiums. You know what I mean? And they got so burnt out because we didn't have anybody else in the squad. I think that's what happened. They got burnt out. But the combination play between all three was good for that certain time. I think we stepped away from that. But
have we really had an opportunity to play that? We've had injuries to Matic and Pogba. We've had loss of form with those players as well. I think, and then obviously in the beginning of the season, after that, we had that horrendous start where we were starting those players as well, remember? When Pogba had COVID and he should never have played because he had COVID, and that was a
because that was Ollie. Ollie said robot.
No, I agree. That was ridiculous from him as well.
But I said we burned them out, and I agree with you. I said we burned them out.
I think
so much.
Yeah.
Bruno and Rashford. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. There's a lot of issues there, and I think that another aspect of it as well is, even though I don't like seeing McFred, they are reliable in terms of availability as well. Do you know what I mean? And I think managers want players they can rely on. And as much as I don't like seeing them, like, it annoys the crap out of me seeing them play. Even seeing one of them play annoys me now, let alone both of them together. But I just think that I think it's not about Rangnick being brainwashed or controlled. I do disagree with you on that, although I understand your reasoning for it. I just think it's more about reliability, if I'm honest with you. I think they're fit and they're always ready, and they're just reliable for him. And unfortunately, we have to, until we get the players that we need, it's just...
Honestly, when I go to the games, I see them both getting bullied, both of them getting press resistant. In terms of creativity, they offer absolutely nothing. Now, there's been times, to be fair to Scott McTominay, when he's played as a number 8, and he is then having pot shots outside the area, like in the FA Cup game against Villa. He's better number 8 in terms of affecting.
Yeah, they both are.
Yeah. But in terms of them two holding and 6, nah, mate, I'm not having it. I am not having it.
I agree. I don't like it either.
I'd rather have a technical player like Donny, who is good at retaining possession, knows how to put his body on the way. Do you know what I mean? He knows how to, like certain technical players, they have an instinct about how to protect the football, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather have that than have people who are just can't pass the ball and who are scared and who want to give it easy 3 yards or 5 yards. I just can't. To me, the idea that those two, if you would have said to me 10 years ago, Man United are going to have McFred in their midfield, and you'd have told me their attributes, I would have been like, what? Nah.
You know what's crazy, Nuruddin, right? If you told me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have been surprised, because I remember when we had Carrick and Scholes, and they were getting to they were aging, right? And even when we had a couple of talented midfielders at the time, including a Paul Pogba when he was younger, and he wasn't being played, and we stuck with Carrick, Scholes. We had Fletcher thrown in there. Ji-Sung Park would play in a 3, or Rooney would play in a 3 with them. We didn't buy midfielders. Remember, we went for a stage of not buying midfielders at all. So it wouldn't have surprised me back then at all. That's the problem with this whole thing. Like, we haven't bought. There's something wrong with.
I remember honestly.
Honestly,
I'll have to find it and I'll send you a snapshot of it. I wrote a Facebook post where after we beat 8-2 Arsenal, I was walking back from it and I wrote a Facebook status saying, "Can Man United get Alassana Diarra and Schneider, please?" This is 2011 after we whacked 8-2. That's what I never knew, honestly. I never thought the lack of baller playing ability. To me, it's not more than anything. It's not that anything for me. It's the lack of ball playing ability from both of them. Like one person does that job. We're playing West Ham at home, and we have to play with two holding guys who are not even holding guys. And I refuse that. I don't care. I don't.
No, I agree. No, I agree with you. We should not be in this situation at all. We shouldn't be in this situation. I can't take that.
And no club is ever with a propaganda is ever going to brainwash me to think that the Scott McTominay is the second coming of fucking Roy Keane. It's not happening.
No, nothing like that. No way.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I think someone in the comments said it's not. It's definitely to do with the coaching. I think our fan base needs to calm down with some of our players as well. I think they put our players on this pedestal, which they might not be able to reach as well. You know, like, don't get me wrong, there's talent, but there's a difference between being talented and being an elite player. Like, I'll give you, like, the best example that you can even speak about is Adel Taarabt, right? He had all the talent in the world. He never became an elite player and didn't go to an elite club because mentally, or his attitude, or the fact that he didn't work hard enough affected it. And that's on him as a player. And the thing is, we have to be careful with some of our players as well.
By the way, those of you who don't know, Adel Taarabt is an absolute baller. One of the best players in the championship. One of the best players I've ever seen to grace a football pitch at QPR. I remember I went to a game in QPR. My friend Charlie, big up Charlie, went to watch QPR when I was in London once. And oh my gosh, the talent. I'm talking about, if that guy focused, I'm talking about like levels like Zidane kind of talent. Do you know what I mean? Like on the ball. Like on the ball, as technically gifted and skillful as you can get of any of the big ballers in world football. Like, it's one of the travesties for me. But even the fact that he played for that time, for me, I always take pleasure because I love footballers who can just manipulate the football, who can take people and who got amazing balance. Like, you didn't know he dropped the shoulder here. Like, it was incredible. No, listen, Rachel, I don't blame the fans. I blame the propaganda machine that is Manchester United, right?
No, but Nuruddin, do you not think fans should be able to think for themselves as well?
No, but listen, majority of fans deep down want to think good things about the players that play for their team.
I understand that. I get it, but sometimes you've got to be realistic.
No, but when you got one of that, I personally believe Manchester United propaganda machine is the biggest in world sport. There is nothing more with this Man United DNA talk and like marketing campaigns than anything. They're putting statistics about Maguire against West Ham, and I'm like, calm the hell down. West Ham didn't attack us. Their fullbacks never went up the pitch together at the same time. They didn't put, every time they put a crossing, they play for set pieces and corners. That's what West Ham played for. Like, they didn't all up Maguire's back, that captain, perform. I'm like, what? Like, this is what I'm saying to you, because majority of fans want to think good things about it. But when you've got this overwhelming propaganda machine that's solely built to big up these players, to make them like, I don't blame, it's like mainstream media. I don't blame people for believing all the rubbish that mainstream media tells them about.
No, I do. This is the thing, Nuruddin. I do blame them, and I tell you why. How many times have we had stories come out about our football club? When there's a good result, there's so many good things. When there's a bad result, there's so many bad things. At the end of the day, the media, the PR, you've screaming about it for ages now. It's a PR, it's PR, it's all propaganda, and that's why I do blame fans, because why are you believing the nonsense constantly? You know we're lying, whether it's positive stuff or negative stuff. Just stop it. Just judge the players on what you see and what you think of them. Stop buying into this. Oh, they're going to be world class in a couple of years, or they're going to be this and they're going to be that. Just analyze it for what it is. And at the moment, our players, if they haven't progressed the way you wanted, then maybe even if there is a coaching issue, there's also a player issue. And that's the only thing I'm asking, like from people, from our fans. Just accept that sometimes players are just not as good as what you think they would be. I remember when the whole room was about. Remember Pato played for AC Milan?
Yeah.
Right, when he first came through, I thought he was going to be one of the best strikers in the world. And for whatever reason.
To be fair, he played and showed it. He played.
No, but he did play and show it, and then things fell apart. Remember Adriano at Inter Milan, Brazilian. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't his fault, because obviously his father passed away. He got depressed and things affected him. He became an alcoholic, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Like, sometimes things affect players. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes players just don't turn out the way you expect them to.
Yeah.
And people need to understand that as well.
But to me, one-to-one coaching works, Rachel. This is where I push back against you in here. Manchester United, since Rav Mulstein left, I've not had a specialized coach that works with young players and works with players on individually improving their game. I remember we beat Man City and we were playing, people call it Fergie ball. It was a Mullenstein ball. The goal that we scored against Man City at Wembley in the League Cup, where Danny Welbeck, who's in midfield? Who was in midfield that day? It was Danny Welbeck up front. It was Nani, Rooney, and what's the guy? Tom Cleverley.
I remember that guy. Gosh, is he still playing? Is he playing for Watford?
I think he's still on Watford's books. Yeah, he's still. He's got injuries in it. He's having injuries. So I believe, like coaches, I 100% believe good coaches can still improve footballers. And
well, of course they can, but up to a certain point.
United, for me, Manchester United, when I've looked at it, I can see, especially young players, the way you bring them in, you take them out, you bring them in. You could see their development. I look at how Guardiola has developed players through coaching. Like,
no, I agree with you, Nuruddin, but here's the thing.
Sterling was what he was when he was at Liverpool. He was quite raw. I look at Andy Robinson when he was at Hull. He wasn't the player that he's done for Liverpool. No, in the hell way. Like,
no, I agree. I agree with you, but it's also on the player. The player has to want to learn.
The players have to want it. But the coaching's got to be there. And I didn't have any faith in Kieran McKenna, Michael Carrick, or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to ever be those guys. I wished and hoped and prayed they were those guys, but they were not. And that's why it's disappointing for me. It's frustrating for me when I see that Ralph Ranier and he's still got all of the fitness coaches, the same fitness coaches that they wanted, that they had with under Ole, and he didn't even bring even one. He didn't even bring one. Instead, we got a psychologist and a guy that came from MLS. Like, and then I see Darren Fletcher doing a substitution. I'm like, what? Like, I don't see that. And that's what I see. Like, Jose Mourinho, 100% did not do. Jose, if you read about Jose's philosophy on football, it's about control. Forward play. There's not one forward player that said Jose Mourinho improved my game. Not mentality-wise, like the mentality aspect of it. Like, he will gas people up and go, you're the greatest and that. But in terms of doing individual technical coaching, the last football coach Manchester United had that improved young players, like the best time you ever saw from Luke Shaw was under Van Gaal. Same thing about Michael.
He's my favorite, definitely.
Michael Smalling. I see Fellaini. Listen, Van Gaal turned Fellaini into a chess guy playing technical football at Anfield. One-touch move football at Man City. Like, that to me shows me. I see what Ten Hag's doing now with Ajax. How much year after year he's improved their game. Like, here touches there, improving players. So this idea, elite coaches can improve players. And
no, I agree that elite coaches can improve players. What I'm saying is that I get the impression from some of our players that they don't have the attitude to want to get better at sometimes, that they want the easy route. Because sometimes when I watch them, it's, do you know, I get this vibe from them there that they're just not working as hard as they should. That they're just going through the motions. And that's what I'm saying. Your players have to want to learn.
All the stats tell you that, Rachel. All the stats support what you're saying. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that coaching can't improve players. I'm saying that the players need to want to be improved. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes the players either think they don't need improvement or they don't want to improve. That's my problem with the whole situation. Yeah. That's all it is. I think some of our players are just not going to make it the way people expect them to because of that. That's what I'm saying. And that's why I say you need to be a bit of a people, not you, I mean people in general have to be realistic about some of our players. Because I've had enough of them, Nuruddin. Remember after that Liverpool game, I was how angry I was. Like, I wanted them all gone. Every single one of those players, I wanted them all gone.
Rachel, I was with you.
How can you be at home at Old Trafford? How can you be at home at Old Trafford and perform like that? And then not long after perform even worse against Manchester City and think it's acceptable? Rachel, wouldn't you have a point to prove? And these players don't do that. Every week we say it. We've been crap. I expect a better performance next week, and they never give us one. Why is that? At an individual level, with these players, why don't they improve within themselves as well? Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. The level of performance individually and as a team has been a disgrace this season, and that's what I'm tired of with these players. I have no love for these players at the moment. I wouldn't care if we sold them all tomorrow because of it.
Rachel,
That's what it is. I've had enough of them.
if you were on that pitch, you would have run on the pitch and grabbed people off. I know you. You would have run on that pitch when the 5-0 going. For me, I genuinely thought that I want to get rid of every single person that is to lose. The bankers, the Glazers, every player to go. Because to me, you cannot lose. That's the worst result in over 100 years. The last time I think was like 107 years ago, where Liverpool smashed us. I think it was 7-2. But we were called, we were not even called Man United. We were called Newton Heath Railway Club. That's what our name was. So big up everybody. Big up everybody, man. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Rachel, I don't disagree with you in that. I just get frustrated that Man United, since Fergie left, have not been or have not had a manager on coaching staff that can get the best out of some of these footballers. I know it's got to be half and half. The coaching has to be there, and the players have to want it. But for me, this is what happens when bankers and the owners who own our club own the club, and when there's zero accountability and everything is all friendly. Do you know what I mean? Like really friendly.
Sheridan, if you ask those bankers to spell gegenpress, they won't understand. This is the problem with these people. They don't understand anything. They are, like, as you said, they don't know anything about football. And that's one of the things that's so disheartening about this whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're recruiting. That's why I hope that Rangnick can sort of give us a bit of guidance with that, because the others they can't do it. So if we do have, like, I know people are very disappointed with how Rangnick has been. I've been disappointed with a few things as well. But I think what we have to do is, as you said, write off the rest of this season. Hope we finish as high as we can. Maybe even get top 4. Hopefully get top 4 somehow. Right? That's the only thing that we can do.
Yeah.
And then we bring in a new manager. Rangnick goes upstairs, and we see which direction we're going in. And if this doesn't work, then that's it. It's a write-off.
How do you feel about giving Ralph Rangnick? Because that's what's been reported.
No.
There we go, Rachel. Even though it's come from that horrible rag that's supposed to be a newspaper, that disgusting, horrendous newspaper. But that guy, Costas guy, he's quite close. He's quite pally-pally with people, especially since Fergie left, right? He's quite pally-pally with people. So the idea that Man United, like, so that means then they can't sell. So they have to retain players. And then they expect him to do. I'm like, no, Ralph Rangnick, if he was going to be bought in, needs to be bought in to go and finish to set up a football structure that's completely different to what we've had. We've not gone anywhere with. Last question. What do you think about Richard Arnold apparently ringing up ex-legends and asking them for their point of view? He's the ones in the media, especially. I personally think he's ringing them to say, guys, you know.
What was that? Ralph.
So Richard Arnold, Neil Ashton let it be known that Richard Arnold's already spoke to Gary Neville.
Why?
And he's going to then ring all the other ex-United legends who are working in media. So basically, it's a two-way thing, I personally think. One is to say, listen, those fans burn Ed Woodward's house, and they have to go rush off and live in London. Don't radicalize the fans against me. The other thing is apparently start asking them, what do you think should be done with the club? What qualification has any of them got about how to run and structure a football club? Like, this is gonna
sound horrendous, right? But I am so sick of our ex-players. It sounds terrible because they brought us so much glory and so many good times. But ever since I started seeing them on TV speaking about things, they bug me with what they say. They really do. And like sometimes they give great pundit. They analyze some things. Like I there was a point where I enjoyed Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher's sort of banter and stuff like that on Monday Night Football. Like I enjoyed some of that. But when they speak about Manchester United, I have a problem with them. When they speak about other clubs, I don't like that. They're fine. When they speak about United, for whatever reason, they're not being themselves with it because they can't for whatever reason. They want to keep the relationship with the club, whatever the reason is. You can tell what they're saying is just it's not what they really think. That bugs me. You know, just say it how it is and be done with it. Otherwise, just don't speak. Don't be on my screen.
Exactly. I just don't think any of the coaching, Windy, any of our coaching staff that we've had at this football club have been talented as Van Gaal or talented as Klopp or Pep Guardiola or any of the big coaches around the world as Ten Hag. They're not, or even Thomas Tuchel. They're not as talented. I'm just sorry. Michael Carrick, Kieran McKenna,
Oh,
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, all those good are nowhere near that elite. They're not those people. I know you were like, but they're not. They're not those people, Windy. They're not those people. Yes, Victor Liang, 100%. It was. He did. That's what what was reported. And Gary Neville has already been spoken to by Richard Arnold. So he's ringing all these players saying, guys, don't please. And also, I genuinely believe that burning of Woodward's house was all set up. How come a Sunday newspaper is there right next to them, videoing and photographing them doing it? Like, I've never heard a crime being committed where a journalist is right there documenting it all. You know what I mean? Like, it just don't make sense to me. It don't. It was just some sort. That's what I'm saying. It's still there's so many things at Man United that don't make sense to me, Rachel. It's like I just can't make sense of it. Like, what's going on here? What's going on here? Big up, man. Big up to everybody. Please let me know how many likes we got on the video. We at least got to get 70 likes on the video, please. Rachel, tell me, have you been at XI? How's things going with XI? How's things been? What else have you? Any other thing that you've been frustrated about? Are you watching any good series at the moment? Let us know.
Do you know what? I haven't streamed. This is the first stream I've actually done in about 3 months, actually.
Wow, I'm quite privileged. Thank you. That's quite.
Yeah, I kept saying to you I wanted to come onto your channel and stuff. I just haven't done anything. I've been busy with
the degree, yeah, law degree.
Yeah, I just haven't had time.
COVID, family, and COVID, and all that. Business.
Oh yeah, it's all been a joke, and family, extended family issues, and it's just it's been very hectic. But
solidarity and love.
Thank you. But you know what it is? I do want to get back into it and stuff. I just need to find the time, really.
Exactly.
And the energy for it.
I'm so grateful. I'm ever so grateful.
It was great being back on here.
I'm genuinely.
I always enjoy the people in the comments on your channel. Good people.
Yeah, man. Big up, Stan. Big up the therapy army. Listen, Rachel loves the therapy army, and I'm sure the therapy army love Rachel. I'm telling you, I get so many inboxes saying, "Where's Rachel? Get Rachel back on the channel. What's wrong with you? She's busy with a degree, man. She's busy. She's studying."
Yeah, it's difficult. I will try. I even wanted to, the law channel with, the stream.
Yeah, let's do
together. I just haven't had time, and I really do want to do it.
That's what I'm saying. But hopefully, in the come to summer, you'll have a bit more time, and we'll do it.
Yeah,
big up. Yeah. Hopefully, we'll things settle down in it. January blues and all that. Yeah, big up to you people. Are you watching any series? Have you been watching any series? Anything that you like for the therapy?
I watched the second season of The Witcher.
The Witcher. It's on Netflix or Sky. I think it's on Sky.
Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Yeah. Witcher, people, check it out. You know what I watched? Bit of nostalgia. Karate Kid. What's it called? Cobra Kai. I'm watching that, and that's interesting. That's a bit of 80s nostalgia. Just that show, nostalgia about 80s. So it's a series based off the Karate Kid. I don't know if you've seen it, Rachel. It's based on the Karate Kid theory, and it's just so nostalgic. It's crazy. It's so with the music and that. Oh my god, like the ballads in the middle of a scene, just these crazy ballads. Man.
Yeah, no, there's some good stuff. Sometimes you just get into a series, even if it's the most horrendous series, for example. Sometimes you just get into it and it's just sort of just there, like trash sort of thing. Sometimes you just get into it, you just need something to just take your mind off things and not have to think about anything. I usually do that with my games, to be fair. So
yo, big up Nadeem, man. I hope all is well with family, bro. Love and respect. Ozark, people are watching Ozark season 4. A lot of people are watching Ozark, so big up Ozark fans in the crowd. King Cobra, that's what I'm watching. The Apprentice. Nah, mate, I'm not watching that. Sorry. People being shouted at. Like all this Gordon Ramsay business.
Oh, you know what? The Bruno Guimaraes thing. I tell you something, right? I was so angry when I found out that Newcastle have been linked with him.
Who?
Bruno Guimaraes.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, hold on a second, right? Why are they getting him? This is unacceptable. This is unfunny. Remember when we were speaking about him? I don't know. Was it you I was speaking with in a space? And I said I wanted us to look at players like him. Players that are very talented, but they're not English. They're just European talent that you could go for if you want something a bit cheaper at the time. They actually bought him. C100 said they actually. I can't believe it.
He's a good player. You know what? I've got a couple of people inboxing me, the Portuguese, sending me clips of him. And you said, Rachel, obviously, obviously we saw it a little bit in the Euros when he got his chance to play. You know what I mean, with Portugal. He's a Portuguese player, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I just don't. He's a Brazilian. Brazilian player.
He's Brazilian. Okay, maybe I'm thinking about somebody else then.
He's Brazilian.
But
I just can't believe.
Is he the midfield player? Let me just see the
he's central midfielder.
Right, this person that I got. This person. Let me just have a look on Twitter. Somebody inboxed me on Twitter about a certain player. Let me just have a look. Here we go. No, no. No, it's João Palhinha. That's the guy that I'm talking about. João Palhinha. He's a Portuguese midfield player. A lot of people are
who's buying him?
Well, we're saying that Man United will link with him, but Man United should.
So we're not getting him then.
No.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
If we're linked with them, we're not getting them, boys.
Yeah, linked FC, innit? Linked FC. That's why the club. I think other than Man City are the only two clubs who are on their official website, like put players that Man United are linked with. They do the news.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Surreal. Reggae Boys out. It's about to kick off. Amy, please pray. Yeah, come on for the World Cup. Is that the Reggae Boys? Yeah. Is it the CONCACAF Cup for the World Cup qualifiers? Come on, the Reggae Boys. Is that Antonio playing? Come on, Antonio. Big up, man. Big up the Reggae. So trust me, like to me, Jamaica should be in every World Cup for me because they just bring vibes. They just bring vibes in it. They bring vibes.
They do, but like the people in charge again, they're not organized. You know how it is.
Of course, it's madness, isn't it? It's madness.
I think kickoff's kickoff was at midnight. I didn't even realize it was midnight. Yeah, they're playing. I think they're playing. Are they playing Mexico?
Yeah,
we're playing Mexico. Yeah,
I'm gonna try and find that somewhere to go and watch it. Is it on Sky? Let me know. They're putting it on Sky. I'll watch it. I'll give it a watch.
I usually just find a stream, to be fair. But I think
Rachel, if you
Mexico or Costa Rica, I think it's Mexico.
Well, if you find the stream, Rachel, you know where to send it to me. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll link it to you.
Yeah, man.
What is this?
Oh, you know what? I think he's out in London. He said he was gonna come on, but unfortunately,
he can't. Is he recording his dance video?
Yeah, he's trying to find it. I think he's trying to find this hotel. Well, we'll have him on next time. But Rachel, let them know where they can find you, please. Always Devil Avocado on Twitter, people. For those Twitter people, give our Rachel a follow. Always backs up her opinions. Not here for no jokes. Man United, as I've depressed her as much as this depressed us. So, but I'm proud of her. Fingers crossed you get that degree sorted. And hopefully you'll be back on your YouTube channel that you're making, which is I'm excited. Yeah, they're playing Mexico. And hopefully we'll have you back on again. But I'm quite privileged actually. You're not being anywhere and you're back on here. So big up.
Yeah, before XI.
Big up XI people, man. Big up. I've been interacting a little bit with Indiana. Big up Indiana. Big up the XI crew, man. He was actually on. He came on Monday. I sent him the link actually. He came on.
Yeah, Indiana's great. He's such a troll. Did you see how he rattles Liverpool fans? It's brilliant. Go and follow him, definitely.
Yeah. Honestly, the thing
he's such a troll.
He's brilliant. He's so good, man. He's so good. There are a couple of like good United fans, like, but to me, that's what I say. I'm so disheartened because I'm just like, Man United ain't it. They're not doing it, so I don't see Man United. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't got time to troll other teams. Because I'm just looking, I'm just studying, trying to work out what the hell is going on at a football club. But people, please pick it up. You can find XI. I'm sure she'll be on there really soon. As soon as she finishes the degree.
Yeah, the first XI, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, you can find her Devil Avocado on Twitter. So big up Rachel. Thank you so much. Love. And she's watching The Witcher. She's enjoying The Witcher. The cats are
finish it now.
I've got to go, but we always say, people, we lose or draw. Glazers out, bankers out. And all this DNA, Man United DNA business, I'm done with. But big up. Catch us here next time. I'm glad that a couple of people got the loans, but please, free Donny. We hope and pray we free Donny. The guy needs to go. Football career is short. He needs to be able to go to the World Cup, or at least have a chance going to the World Cup. Big up, love, and respect to you all. Peace.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Big up, CM Super Nick. Come on, the Reggae Boys. Come on, Jamaica. Big up.